Welcome to Presence with Peacock Voices, our YouTube channel where we discuss how mastering the human voice will allow you to become the leader and communicator that you want to be. Today we're going to talk about nerves. I think it was Mr. Bennett from Pride and Prejudice who said something like, your nerves have been my constant companion to his wife when she's like, oh, my nerves. And the reality for me is that is true. I've had to deal with nerves my entire life. I've shared this before, but I'm a very introverted person and a very extroverted career. And when I was a performer, it was even more so. And my stage fright and my nerves of being in front of people and performing at times were debilitating. So I have spent a lot of time thinking about nerves and how to control my nerves and how to manage all of that nervous energy. And I know I'm not alone. Every time I give a workshop, I ask, okay, who in here gets nervous? And there's always a couple people who don't raise their hand. And then I'm like, share your secret. And then everybody laughs. I'm like, no, I get nervous too. I think we all do. I think that having nerves is actually really healthy. It shows that you've got skin in the game. It shows that you really care about what it is that you're doing. That said, there's a point with which our nerves cease to be a positive thing that gives us that adrenaline, that gives us that focus, that comes from this desire to be great or do well or whatever it is. And instead, it can be debilitating. For a really long time, I tried to talk about nerves through the lens of getting rid of them. And that never worked. Ever. No matter what I did, I always ended up being nervous. I realized one day that nerves are nervous energy, and nervous energy is, in fact, energy. And energy is very useful. So instead of trying to get rid of my nerves, I learned to repurpose nervous energy to actually support me. You've heard me say this before, you'll hear me say it a million times, but nervous energy is just energy, and energy is the life force of sound. I'm going to say it again because it's so important. Energy is the life force of sound. So if you can repurpose that nervous energy and use that energy as a tool to support your sound, all of a sudden it becomes very positive. Those nerves become really useful and really helpful in delivering a engaging and inspiring and fill in the blank of whatever it is that you want your communication to be in that moment. How do we go about doing this? Well, first and foremost, I think it's really important to understand the nature of your nerves. So for some of us, when we get nervous, all of a sudden we get really out of breath and everything gets really aspirated. We run out of air, we start speaking faster. And sometimes also we get higher in pitch and everything just gets like really out of control. And all of a sudden we sound like this. And you've totally stressed yourself out. Now I'm stressed out. I've done that. And your audience gets stressed out from that, right? The listener gets stressed out listening to that. For others of us, our hands shake. When I was younger, I was a violinist and my hands just shake so badly that my bow hand, I would bounce my bow on the string because my right hand would shake so badly and my hands would go completely numb. Other people, their knees shake. We all have different things and different ways that our body reacts to being nervous. And so it's really important to take stock of that so you understand what it is you're working with. And then what you want to do is understand how you can counteract that. When you aren't nervous and you're practicing your presentation or you're practicing the conversation you're about to have, you're getting ready for your meeting, whatever it is, think about what it is your body is doing, thinking about the process of how you're standing there or sitting there communicating what it is that you are communicating. What are you doing? Then compare that to what happens when you get nervous. So as I'm speaking to you now, I know that I have consistent airflow, I have consistent support, bodily engagement, so I have a really clean and clear sound. I know that my resonance sits right where I want it to. I know I'm using inflection. And if I was somebody that really lost my air when I got nervous and started speaking really, really fast, then I would know, okay, I want to pay extra careful attention to how I'm utilizing my air. What is the process my body is doing right now to create consistent airflow so that when I'm speaking, when I'm nervous, I can already be on top of that and counteract that. If I'm somebody who speaks really, really fast and I'm nervous, okay, so how does it feel? What is the process of speaking at a speed that feels good for me? What am I doing? Now, when I go into a space where I'm nervous, I can actively call upon that process and upon those skills in order to counteract my body's natural response to those nerves. I can use that energy and say, okay, this is nervous energy. I'm putting that into my speech pattern. I'm putting that into my support system. I'm putting that into my breath. Another thing you can do if you get nervous, and another way you can use nervous energy to support your sound, is just thinking about how you're inhaling. So if you have read any of our blogs or seen any of our videos about breathing, you'll know we talk a lot about back breathing. And so when you go to taking that back breath, you're using that nervous energy to really engage in that inhale and exhale and really engage in your body. Then not only are you utilizing this breath that is really good for your sound, that'll really support your speaking voice, but you're also activating your nervous response system to allow for you to calm down. Your vagus nerve has 3 branches that are attached to your voice, 2 on your larynx and 1 on your pharynx. So all this is really interconnected. So a lot of vocal changes can happen when you're nervous. The more you connect with your breath, the more you use your energy, that nervous energy, to support your voice, the more successful you'll be. So these are just some ways to think about how you can use that nervous energy as a positive, how you can utilize your nerves as a beautiful thing, as a thing that shows you've got skin in the game, that you care. As a completely random aside, another fun little tool that I have that I use all the time is wiggling your toes. A friend of mine taught me that and it works. I don't know why. I haven't been able to find research on it. But if you wiggle your toes, it just releases everything. So that's another little tidbit that helps with nerves. It has nothing to do with your voice, but I just wanted to share. As always, I hope you found this interesting. I hope that you have something new to think about and implement into your speaking life and work life. Next month, we're going to talk about accents and how amazing they are. I look forward to seeing you then.